So today we are going to be taking my YouTube short that I made a few days ago and do a tutorial on it. But yeah, before we get started, if you guys want to see more of these animated builds or just want to see more cool stuff in general, then hit that like button down below and also subscribe if you're new to my channel because it will also help out my channel a lot. The first thing I'm going to show you are the fans, and the fans actually have two different versions of them. One has an on and off switch while the other one doesn't, and I'm going to show you both ways, but first I'm going to show you the one without the on and off switch, and here are the materials that you'll need. So first thing you want to do is take your observers and place your observers in a 3x3 type of wall. And make sure you don't have an observer in the middle, so it kind of looks like a donut when you're finished. Next, you want to take your building blocks of your choosing and place them in a 3x3 right in front of the observers. Keep in mind the blocks will be facing the output side of the observer. Next, you want to take another block of your choosing because this will actually be the center of your fan. So what you want to do is take that block and place it right in the center of that 3x3 wall. Next, you want to take your trapdoors and place it around your center block. Keep in mind that these trapdoors will be on the outer layer of the block, not the inner layer. This kind of helps with the effect of the animation and will just make it look cleaner. And last but not least, you want to go to the back of your fan and you want to place your observers somewhat of a clockwise motion type of thing. It's kind of hard to explain this part. Just make sure to pay attention to the arrows because that will show which direction the observers are facing. After doing this, you'll notice that one of your fan blades are spinning. So what you want to do next is actually go up to one of the corner observers, and you gotta get some timing right because you then have to break the observer quickly and then replace it, and that will give you your dual fan blade. And there you go. With that, you have a finished fan. Next, I'm gonna build the version of the fan that has the off and on switch. So first thing you want to do is take your observers and place your observers in a 3x3 type of wall. And make sure you don't have an observer in the middle. Next, you want to go on the second layer of observers and you want to place two more observers facing into the original observer. After that, on the left side, you are going to place an observer facing upwards. And on the right side, you're going to place an observer facing downwards. This next part is going to be difficult, so I highly suggest looking at my screen, but basically you want to place blocks where it is shown on screen. And if it helps, please pause the video if needed, or just like rewind or whatever. After placing all those blocks, you want to place a glass block next to the left observer. After placing your glass block, you then want to add your repeaters. And the direction you place your repeaters are very important, so you do want to pay attention for sure. But basically the side with the observer that's facing upwards, that is the side that the top repeaters are going to be going into, and on the other side with the observer facing downward, that's where the bottom repeaters will be facing towards. But basically after that, you want to take two redstone dust and place it on the two diagonal blocks on the left side, and then take two redstone dust and place it on the two diagonal blocks on the right side. And after you finish all that, you want to make sure all the repeaters are on 2 tick delays. After that, you want to go on the bottom line of repeaters and you want to place an observer facing outward of the second repeater from the left. Next, you want to go on the left side of that observer that you just placed and have an observer facing outward from that. And with that, that should hook up with the observer that's facing up. Next, you want to go on the repeaters on the top layer and you want to place an observer facing outward from the second repeater on the right. Next, you want to go on the right side of the observer you just placed and place an observer facing outward from that. And if you have that hooked up correctly, that observer that you just placed should be right on top of the observer facing downward. After you finish the redstone, you want to go on the right side of the fan and actually place a block on top of the very right redstone dust. After placing that block, you want to place 3 temporary blocks going backwards. After that, you want to destroy the first 2 temporary blocks and place a sticky piston facing the previous building block you placed. After that, you can destroy your last temporary block. Next, you want to place a building block underneath your sticky piston and then place a note block underneath that previous block. After, you want to place an observer coming out of that note block, and that observer should be facing building block with the redstone dust on top of it. Going back to the building block with the sticky piston on top, you want to place a lever. After placing the lever, feel free to flick it. Next, you want to go to the note block and you want to place 2 building blocks going to the left. After, you want to place a glass block next to those building blocks, and you want to place 1 more building block after that glass block. And right after that building block, you want to place another note block. After, you want to place a building block on top of that note block. And last but not least, you want to place an observer facing into the redstone dust. After that, place 4 pieces of redstone dust on top of these blocks as shown. And last but not least, you want to go to the front of your fan and place a 3x3 wall in front of your observers. And just like the previous fan, you can then place your center block and your trapdoors around it. Again, just keep in mind that the trapdoors has to be on the outer layer of the block. That way it gives off more of an effect and it makes it look smoother. But after you finish that, feel free to turn it on and test it. But yeah, with that being said, let's actually move on to the next building, which will actually be the birds in the sky. And here are the materials that you'll need. Keep in mind that these birds in the sky only works with a minimum of maybe 3 birds in total. So this material list will only consist of 3 birds, but if you want more birds in the sky, I highly recommend duplicating these materials. So yeah, keep that in mind and let's get straight into the tutorial. So first step is you want to take your slab of your choosing and you actually just want to place them in the desired spot you want your birds to be. Just keep in mind that they have to be in close proximity for them to work. So I believe the furthest can be 16 blocks away. But basically, after you place down your slabs, you want to take your calibrated skulk sensors and you want to place all your skulk sensors on top of your slabs. Depending on which way you want your birds to be facing, you want to place trapdoors on the sides. After placing the trapdoors on the side, they should start activating each other and yeah, it should start working. Next, we are going to be building the hot lava pit. Same as the birds, I will only be building 1 of each smoke producer and 1 block pusher. So feel free to duplicate these materials if you are planning to make multiple of these. But first things first, you want to place a dropper facing upwards. Next, you want to place a target block next to the dropper. After that, you want to go on the opposite side of the dropper and place a hopper going into that dropper. Next, you want to place a stairs of your choosing on top of the target block. Keep in mind that the stairs has to be facing the dropper as it will be important in the future. After, you want to place signs on either side of the stairs. After, you want to place blocks around your dropper as shown on screen. It's kind of hard to explain, so just pay attention to what I'm doing and you'll be fine. After, you want to place water inside the stairs and that should flow on top of the hopper. Next, you want to take your building block of your choice and place a 3x3 floor on top of your stairs. After, you want to come down to your target block and place a temporary block underneath your target block. Next, you want to place 3 building blocks out from the target block. Next, you want to place 3 more building blocks beside these 3 blocks that you placed in the previous step. And at this point, you are able to destroy your temporary block. After, you want to place 4 redstone dust as shown on screen. After placing your redstone dust, you want to place a repeater in between the redstone dust going in one direction. And then place another repeater beside the previous repeater you placed, going the opposite direction. Overall, you should have a redstone clock. After, you want to make sure that your redstone repeaters are on 2-tick delay. After finishing all of that, you actually want to activate your redstone clock, and in doing so, you want to place a redstone torch next to your redstone dust and then break it immediately, and that will actually activate your redstone clock. After activating your redstone clock, you actually want to head over towards your dropper and fill your dropper with at least 10 blocks of your choice. After filling the dropper, you'll notice that the dropper starts dropping the items and it creates the smoke. But you notice that the smoke isn't actually coming out of the blocks. So what you want to do is go on top of the 3x3 floor you made in the previous steps and you want to break the middle block. And if you've done this right, then that middle block that you broke should be on top of the dropper. So once you break it, the smoke should start coming out of the hole. As for the blocks moving up and down, I basically just placed a sticky piston facing upwards, and then I placed a target block next to the sticky piston. And then from the redstone clock I made for the smoke producer, I actually connected that to that sticky piston. So just connect that redstone clock to the target block that's connected to the piston. You then want to place a block on top of your sticky piston, and with that, you have your hot lava pit. For the last and final animated builds, I am actually going to merge the rainy and snowy clouds, because they're basically the same build, just different items within the droppers. Here are the materials that you will need. And same as the two previous builds, I am only going to be building one of these, so feel free to duplicate these materials in order to build multiple of these. But to start off this build, you want to place a dropper facing downwards. Next, you want to place a temporary block underneath the dropper. After that, you want to place a powdered snow block underneath that temporary block. After doing so, you are able to break the temporary block right now, as we don't need it anymore. After destroying that temporary block, you want to fill the dropper with either the arrows of splashing or the powdered snow bucket. It depends which effect you would want, but keep in mind that the arrows of splashing will make a rainy effect, while the powdered snow bucket will make a snowy effect. Next, you want to place 2 temporary blocks on top of the dropper. After, replace the first temporary block with an observer facing downward. And last but not least, replace the second temporary block with another observer facing upwards. With that being said, it should make an observer clock and start activating the dropper. And with that, you basically have a finished build. And with that being said, we have finished the tutorial for every single animated build. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. I hope my explanations were not confusing at all. But anyways, don't forget to hit that like button if you guys did enjoy this. If you guys want more animated builds, then please comment down below which animated builds I should build and which animated builds I should do a tutorial on. And yeah, I'll look at your comments and do a tutorial on them. But yeah, also don't forget to subscribe. We are almost at 200 subscribers, guys. It's actually insane. And I'm excited. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.